Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a how to drive video. This particular machine is a JCB 8018, but several of the controls will cross over to almost all mini excavators. So we're going to go ahead, get started on the video, and bring you guys along. Some of this will be pretty elementary to operators that run these machines day in and day out. But for your average person that is just renting one from a rental company for a weekend project, I'm going to go over everything in this video to the best of my knowledge. I'm not saying I know everything, but I have operated these for a few years now. The main part we are looking at now, this is a bucket. Obviously, I know that's kind of silly, but this is a smooth mouth bucket for ditching. This is a Rhinox 36-inch smooth mouth bucket. And then we have a 16-inch bucket with teeth on it. This is primarily used for digging. I also have a small 10-inch trench bucket or 12-inch and a large material bucket here just for grubbing out material. We are now moving up the stick. This part right here is called the stick, right there. We have the thumb right here. Not all machines have a hydraulic thumb. This is just a run-of-the-mill purchased right offline. It's a handy piece of kit for an excavator. Some of them have a manual thumb that is not as desirable. So we are moving up the stick now. This is the thumb. These are the auxiliary ports right here. These are for running different hydraulic attachments such as brush mowers, cutters, things like that, and the hydraulic thumbs, of course. We're now moving back to the boom. Not really too much to talk about here until we get back to the main swing pin of the boom. These smaller machines are unique in that the boom right here can swing side to side, so you can dig next to a foundation and things like that. This is the Dozer Blade right here. This is just a two-way blade. Some of the newer machines are coming out with four-way blades and maybe even six-way blades. I haven't seen any of those yet, but I'm sure they're in the works. We have the tracks right here, and now we can move on to the operator's platform. Looking here at the operator's platform, normally on all machines, the left arm will either come up like this, or there will be a lever down here that you flip. Normally they are red. This one was red, but it is sun faded now. What this does is it disconnects all of the hydraulic functions from the machine. So that way, when you are working next to people down in a trench or whatever, when you flip this arm up, you don't accidentally swat someone. So if this arm is flipped down like this, the machine will operate and function. If it is flipped up like this, it will not. This is a good safety feature. We are now setting on the operator's platform, this only being a 4,500 pound machine. It is pretty small. I am 6'1", 6'2", and the machine is small for me. One thing I wanted to tell you about is pay attention to your warning labels and your operation labels. Almost all modern machinery will have these on there, and we are using the ISO controls. These are just plastered throughout the machine, and you can learn a lot just by reading them. We will go over the ISO controls and the SAE controls later in the video. We are now sitting in the operator's seat. I'm going to go ahead and fire my unit up. Almost all of your modern small equipment is diesel. So this particular one, you can turn the key to the run position. You turn it a little farther and you will see the glow plug light illuminate. On a cold day, you would want to have this warm up. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the machine. Okay, the machine fires right up. Now you will see we do not have any stick controls or boom controls because we do not have our safety lever or our operation lever flipped down. We're going to go ahead and flip this down now. Now we have controls. as you can see. Now I'm going to get started on the floor of the operator's platform. We're going to go through each control, bring you guys along, and learn together. As I said, we are starting on the floor. This right here says aux for auxiliary. Those are the quick connect couplers out there that are attached to the hydraulic thumb. I'm going to go ahead and simply push to the left on my machine to close the thumb. And I'm going to push to the right to open the thumb. Okay, now I'm going to move across and we are going to swing our boom. This, like I said, is for digging next to foundations or ditching. You will learn this as you use the machine. I'm going to go ahead, swing to the right, pushing the right side of the pedal. You can see this cylinder is retracting. Now I'm going to go ahead, swing to the left. You can see it swings to the left. I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to the left so we can watch it throughout the video. These two sticks here are your tillers, and what these control is each track. With the Dozer Blade in the front, this is the right track, as you can see, and also this one here is the left track, as you can see. Now if we pull them back both together, we move backwards and forwards. It's really that simple. These also have a secondary control where they have a high and a low switch. This is simply for moving faster. You would not use your Dozer Blade in the high position. This is just simply for working around or moving around the job site faster. If we go to the low position, we move slow. If we go to the high position, we move much faster. Like I said, this is just for tracking around the job site. Now that we are done with the tillers, we are going to go ahead and move on to the Dozer Blade. There are several different variations. There are ones with toggles on top for different blade functions, but this being just a two-way blade, this just simply goes down if we push forward, like so, and it goes up if we pull back. This lever on a JCB has two functions. I can't speak to other machines, but we can switch this toggle and we will move between the blade and the tracks. This machine is unique in that the tracks suck in tighter so that you can drive through double doors or fence gates. And it also has removable blade edges so that when the tracks are sucked in, you do not have an extra wide blade. I will demonstrate that now. You simply push down, raise the tracks off the ground in the front, then we will pivot the machine all the way around. Going to go ahead and straighten our boom. Now we simply push down, need a little throttle. Now that we have raised the tracks off the ground, as you can see, we are going to switch to the track control. I'm going to push the blade lever forward and you will see the tracks suck in. Now I'm going to extend the tracks back out because I rarely suck in this close, just by pulling back on the lever. And there you have it. Now I'm going to go right back to the blade control. Raise up. Spin around. And raise up our Dozer Blade. that is all the functions that our Dozer Blade handle has on the JCB 8018. There are several other controls. I'm not going to go over every single one. I have mine labeled just with a Sharpie magic marker because my machine, before I had purchased it, had set out its whole life, so it's faded and dull, and all of the electric switches were completely unlegible. Most excavators also, on the right stick or the left stick, will have a push button that will activate a horn. The horn on my machine is inoperable. This being an older machine, it still has a lever for the throttle. The newer machines are going to dial types, but this one has an older mechanical linkage. We are now going to concentrate on the right stick or pilot control. We are using the ISO pattern. This is what 90% of machines run. Some machines have the SAE pattern, and this machine is unique that it can switch between them with just the flip of a switch. Concentrating on the ISO pattern, when I pull this lever back like this, you will see that my boom raises. This is the boom, that is the stick. When I push this forward, the boom lowers. Okay, now the right hand stick or pilot control also controls the curl of the bucket. When I push the lever to the left, my bucket curls as if I am scooping dirt. When I push the lever to the right, my bucket dumps, just like so. We are now going to move on to our left pilot control or stick. When I pull it back, the stick comes toward me. When I push forward, the stick moves away from me. When I move the lever to the right, my entire chassis pivots. This is pivot to the right. Now we're going to pivot back to the left. These are very intuitive controls. Once you run the machine for a few hours, you'll be doing it like you've been doing it for years. This machine, like I said, can change between ISO pattern hydraulics and SAE pattern hydraulics. This is where your decals on your machine can really help you to determine where you are, whether you are in ISO or SAE. This is completely different, and personally I don't care for SAE controls, so you'll have to bear with me. We are now in the SAE controls, and we are back on the right stick. When I pull the stick back, the stick comes toward me. When I push the pilot control or stick forward, the stick moves away from me. And when I curl the stick to the right, my bucket dumps. When I curl the stick to the left, my bucket scoops, as you can see. We are now on the left stick. When I pull up, the boom raises, as you can see. And when I push forward, the boom lowers. Like I said, it just depends on what machine you have. Some machines do not go between ISO and SAE controls. We also maintain the right slew. Right here, we are slewing to the right. And when I move to the left, we slew to the left. This would be your slew. I personally never switch out of ISO, so I never mess with this very often. Almost all mini excavators nowadays have quick connect buckets. Most machines back in the day, you had to remove 2 pins, drop the bucket down, and then you had to line up the other pins. That is all becoming a thing of the past. They still make them on the cheaper machines, but most all machines will have a proprietary quick connect system. What I mean by that is, this is a JCB quick connect. And you can see that all of my buckets have pins that stay with them. This is well worth the money to buy these pins and leave them with it. My Rhinox came with these as an option for $80. It was well worth the money. These are hardened, and it just makes everything very nice and simple. I'm going to go over now switching the buckets, but this will only apply to the JCB line, and this will only apply to the mini excavators. The larger machines have different quick connect systems, and some of them even have hydraulic quick connect where you can do everything right from the seat. With that being said, all we have to do is pull this small cam over pin, then our safety pin comes out of our quick connect right here. This is also your tool for changing the bucket. It goes right in this hole right there, and you simply push down just like that. Now you can see the bucket is swinging freely. Now we will take this, always set this somewhere where you can find it, especially on a muddy job site. You don't want that to disappear. Now we will get back on the machine and drop our bucket. This may be a little hard to film, but I'll do my best. I have you guys set up on the thumb so you can get the best seat in the house for this. I'm going to fire up the excavator, drop this Rhinox bucket, and then do my best to pick up our 16-inch digging bucket. You guys heard that. We can give our bucket a quick inspection to make sure that we are locked in good. I know that we are because I heard that loud audible click. Then we simply reinstall our safety pin like so, and then we reinstall our cam over pin. And that is how simple it is to change buckets. Several different machines have several different attachment systems. I know the Kubota system, the Bobcat system, they're all very nice. I just have a JCB. This is what my father had purchased, so this is what we run. And I have a plethora of buckets. I did want to give a warning. If you are renting one of these machines or thinking about buying one, whenever you're done working, even if it's just to go to lunch or take a quick break, put your bucket down at rest. Reason being, this type of machinery fascinates young boys, and you don't want to have anyone get hurt if they are playing around on it. These newer machines are getting safer and safer, but it's still something to be worried about. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.